Greetings, everyone. It's Wednesday, the 26th, the day before Thanksgiving. Cheers. Well, let's just keep going. It's another day. Let's see what's on the plate. First up is I'm watching the In Grooves update, which is a day early since tomorrow is a holiday. He's showing his what's coming in for Record Store Day, Black Friday, and I'm not seeing anything. Of course, I'm really not excited about Record Store Day, and I didn't catch on to Record Store Day for years. It was going on for years before I figured out what it was or even really noticed it. But looking at the titles so far in the InGroove update for Friday, it's just, it's mostly a naked money grab. People have a right to make money, but geez. Only thing I've seen so far is a new Ladytron, which, I like Ladytron. Yeah, I don't get into the Black Friday madness. I don't. It just really seems like the perfect day to stay at home or to stay out of the store. I really don't understand the mindset of people who participate and actually go out. I don't get it. Anyway, thank you, folks, for the lovely feedback on yesterday's video. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll go and look at the comments before I go, which kind of is... I won't standardize the things I do, except that they are what I do. And if I do the comments, it doesn't mean I'm going to always do the comments. But mostly I'm interested in, giving some feedback on the comments. Yeah, I'm getting myself together here this morning. You're talking about snow by the weekend, but it's clear this morning. Clear and cool. The cats are out and about, tipping around, prowling, patrolling the neighborhood. No plans for Thanksgiving. Douglas has invited me very sincerely to join his family for Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'm on the fence. I'm honored that I've been invited, but I don't know that I really want to go, honestly. We'll see. When I went and spent Thanksgiving with Jen last year, that worked because it was just the two of us, and also our history. There's almost a family sort of thing with Jen. Now I love Doug, and I'm enjoying getting to know his wife, but the rest of his family will be there, who I don't know, and I can be very social, but at the same time, that can also be a bit uncomfortable at first. I'm the odd man out. I'm the guest. I'm not a real family member. Maybe not everyone will be cool with that, which isn't my problem, but it's something that I'll be thinking about. So we'll see. If I stay home tomorrow, it'll be a good day, okay? There are a lot of people who have to spend the holidays alone. I don't have to. And so it's not a problem for me. If I were near my family, actual family members, my brothers and my sisters, because my brothers are Well, my brother, yeah, actually. If I were near them, would I make an effort to get together with them? Absolutely, I would. I do miss their presence in Omaha in my life. My siblings, I do miss my family. Yesterday at 4:20, I do have a routine where most days on 4:20, because I don't smoke a lot of weed. I used to smoke a lot of weed, but I have a bit of a routine. If I happen to catch 4:20, I'll take a puff and dedicate it to my little brother Patrick. And I look at that. I have a picture of him that was drawn for me by local artist Bart Vargas, who really captured Patrick's essence in the drawing. And I look at that. So musically, yesterday, leisurely day, nothing much happened. Stayed home. I am I sent some music over to Doug where it's like it's a piece that I wrote where it's like I hear words on this. So I sent it to him. But otherwise, I did some more crate digging at home, which I'm really enjoying, if I can be honest. It's just like it really is what I enjoyed doing when I was a kid, and it's what I would fantasize about when I would be at work for all those long years. I wish I was at home playing records, or I just wish I was at home not working. So I love this. These are not empty days for me. I'm really enjoying, and I'm very thankful. Very thankful. So, to start with, this is something where the idea is better than the execution, or at least ways the execution of the idea is not as listenable as it could be. Scott Johnson, John Somebody. This is an album where he is executing an idea, and he's working with tape loops, voices where they're looped like a laugh. There's one that's based on a laughs, but I've heard better. And his guitar playing and the tone of his guitar is not really very impressive to me. Is this a keeper? Yes. I have a feeling that yesterday I listened to, I didn't look at which side I listened to, but I have to come back to it because the side that I listened to was not enjoyable. I studied it as I listened. That's really what I did, was I studied what he was doing and thought to myself, well, this is an interesting idea, but your choices for material are lacking. At least to my ears, they're lacking. The Chicago-based band Cheer Accident. Never met the folks, but Tim Jones, who drummer, I think he's the leader of the band, sends me stuff over the years, and I like Cheer Accident. Years ago, he sent me this solo album of his, recorded from 2013 to 2017. Tim Jones, Never Again with Feeling. Apparently that's a picture of him as a kid on the cover, and I would dare say that the picture on the cover is fitting because this album strikes me as something very personal. I listened to all of one side, and it's like he's doing the sitting at the piano. I've been inspired by Brian Wilson and Todd Rundgren sort of feel, and ding, 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 ding. And the words, it's like, it's real personal, and it's like, I like Cheer Accident. This is the sort of thing where it's like, it's almost like he's singing about somebody that he's broken up with, or someone he's in love with or something. Some of the chord changes are nice, but overall, it's like this is not the sort of thing I'm going to be listening to. I jumped into this area back here. Sometimes when things are right in front of you, you tend to overlook them or take them for granted. So I jumped into my M's yesterday and played some Harvey Mandel. Guitarist, was in Canned Heat, did some other things. A very bluesy player, but with gravity. This is one of his early solo albums, Games Guitars Play. There's several um, covers on here, including the Joe South Games People Play on here, and blues. And I like Harvey Mandel's tone and his touch. And he has an album called Baby Batter that I really like. But this one, when he gets into stuff like Honky Tonk and Leaving Trunk and I Don't Need No Doctor, that stuff's just fucking boring to me. It really is. Real boring. And so there's a few solos on here that I enjoyed. But overall, this is part of my collection. I dig Harvey Mandel. I'm just now realizing that I listened to some guitar players yesterday. I pulled this because it was like, again, an album that I often just overlook and don't play, but this is good. Vic Juris, Road Song, guitarist, in the vein of Pat Martino, very much like Pat Martino and also Wes Montgomery. Good band. Everyone plays really well on here. Of note, Barry Miles on keys and Terry Silverlight on drums. Terry Silverlight was kind of a hustler type of drum in that he could play stuff like Billy Cobham, but it sounds just a little bit like he's almost about to lose it. It's like, I mean, he's in time and he can do the things, but if you heard, you know what I mean. Leon Ndugu Chancellor also struck me the same way, and also the fact that the way he tunes his drums with his tom-tom sounding like cardboard boxes. I just always noticed that. I've always hated that. Really good drummer though, and Vic Juris, very good guitarist, inventive. You know, he has a vocabulary that he's working from. Like I mentioned, Pat Martino and Wes Montgomery. But besides going through the licks that you hear that he's practiced so he could play them well, and that phrasing, like it's almost like skipping and dancing, which is the jazz way, he's good at it and he's fast. I think I'd have to read this. I think he's already gone already. Really good. Vic Juris Road Song. Played another guitarist. And really got into this yesterday. Map. Fever Dream. Mary Halverson with Tatsuya Nakatani and Ruben Radding. Got this from Tatsuya Nakatani last time I saw him perform. He signed it for me. Had the pleasure of performing in the Nakatani Gong Orchestra. You know how he travels with his gongs and does a workshop before the performance and takes people who volunteer and teaches them how to play cymbals and gongs and stuff. This double album has the potential of being annoying, and yet it works because it's guitar and bass, acoustic bass, and percussion. But percussion wise, it's a lot of cymbal scraping, which could become annoying, and yet it doesn't. Mary Halverson is a excellent guitar player, and on here you hear where she has a distinct voice. She's thinking in real time, it sounds like, with the guitar. Um, I think it's really actually kind of brilliant. Map. Met her um, at a, was it a Mr. Bungle show? Map opened for them. I think she's a modern guitarist of, with great talent. She and Jeff Parker. People are talking about Matteo Mancuso, or whatever his name is, who has the technique, and he's good. But Mary is an original. Mary Halverson, check her out. So another poll, and just went with it because that's what I'm doing. It's like I'm, rather than doing a lot of choosing, I'm just pulling, and it's like, okay, play it, because there's records that I don't think I'm morbid. I think I'm realistic. I do think about death fairly often, and about the fact that I, along with others, are at the end of our road, not at the beginning. And that indeed, there are sometimes I'll do things, it's like, this could be the last time I do this. This could be the last time I play this. Because it's real. And does it increase my appreciation of the moment? Yeah, it actually does. So I played this Robert Schroeder, Paradise, Innovative Communication, the Klaus Schultz label. And this starts off kind of so-so. This starts off kind of, forgettable. The first track on side one, it's like, oh man, that's literally how my response when it started was. It was all tinkly, and it's like, oh shit, come on. But by the time we got to Future Memories on the side one, it was like, there we go. There was a reason why Klaus Schultz put this on his label. The guy is good and inventive, but it goes from being kind of something where you hope it's non-offensive, and maybe it'll help sell records to people who don't really listen deeply, and then it goes into deeper territory. So I enjoyed this. Paradise by Robert Schroeder. I listened to one side of this Tom Zay. I don't speak the language, but the music is interesting. It's like, it's not typical Brazilian, although there is a lot of heavy Brazilian in here, but it's psychedelic too. Cool stuff. Here's an album I took a chance on as a reissue, and I'm glad I did. It's not consistently good, but there's some stuff that rises to the occasion. Mike Tingley, The Abstract Prince, something that came out in 1968. This is a numbered reissue. This is that late 60s pop with a touch of orchestral goodness and psychedelic flourishes. It's on gold vinyl. Some songs are better than others. Some of it is almost like Scott Walker, almost. But again, I've read the story, but I forget. I think this guy was traveling Europe from America, not a musician, but one thing led to another, and he ended up making this album. And it's not bad. Mike Tingley. It's got that 60s thing that I like. That music does correspond with a headspace that I live in, I'm a child of the 60s, and the first British wave of the Beatles and all that stuff moving into psychedelia, those are my halcyon days. That really does define a lot of my, how I see the world and how I developed. It has a lot to do with why I play more rock-oriented music than jazz. Okay, it's my world. So in the comments, someone asked me about the last poets, and my answer to this person is last poets were unique when they came out. There was nothing else out like that, where black people were speaking so strong about current events. You would do well to do some research into who the last poets are, who's in the band, and see where it leads you. Maybe you can come back and tell me what you found, okay? All right, that's how I answer that. You tell me about what's out there that was like the last poets. Yeah, and the Chillum, I know about Chillum. I don't have it. It's hard to find. The Kieran O'Connor, I know about that record. I love this comment. If this man is bitter, then I want to be bitter every day. And I already knew about Joe McPhee's Late Nation Time. I don't need to get it. I tried to tell you, I'm not a dedicated jazzer. I don't have to have Joe McPhee's Nation Time. There's rock, psychedelic albums that I feel that way about. I don't have to have Joe McPhee. I'm not a... Thank you for appreciating me, Stechino. Okay? Leroy Jones is a poet. Black poet. Nikki Giovanni, poet. Folks who spoke without fear, like the last poets. That's what I got for you. Do they have records? I don't know. Maybe. They're poets. Thank you, John McCrae. He says, I see more love than anger from you, Dereck. I'll tell you what, that is definitely true. And I could be very angry. And I love Michael P. Dawson. Like I said, he just strikes me as someone that would be... Okay, it occurred to me. You're out there in San Francisco. I have a friend from Omaha who is retired from radio in, I think, San Diego. Joe McConnell. Does that name ring a bell? I think he became famous for his traffic. He's on the radio for years. He has a big, boomy voice. But Michael P. Dawson looks like my friend Joe McConnell. And Joe and I used to be thick as thieves. We worked at the mental health center together. I love the guy. And that just occurred to me because I just recently got a message from Joe. And that's it. Mike looks like him and reminds me of him. But I love Michael's P. Dawson's comment regarding, he says, what's wrong with being a bitter, angry old bastard? It works for me. And then Jeff Waterman says, old men sticking together? You don't have to stick together. We're just who we are. I just speak up in the face of people speaking when they don't know what they're talking about, which in my opinion is epidemic, partially because of the social climate where we have a 34 a convicted felon, liar, rapist, pedophile as president who bullies people and talks really crassly and with no values. It sets up the tone for the world we're living in, where people basically think they've been given permission to be assholes and say stupid shit. Well, when it comes over to me, I'm gonna address it. That shit is stupid, ignorant. Check yourself. Okay, that's what I got. Talk to me, people.